Hey there, Sharon. Let's talk about 10 communication relationship keys to supersize your business. I'm going to share 5 best practices across all types of communication because we communicate everywhere, all day, all the time. Even if we're not communicating and opening our mouths and speaking, we're either listening or our body language is clearly saying we're not listening, or we are, or we don't agree with or do agree with something. And all of our businesses, all of our relationships are based on communication. So I'm going to share 10 effective ways. And I'm going to share 5 effective ways across all types of communication and 5 pitfalls that we need to avoid, all of us. And we're all guilty of most of these things. I mean, some people aren't, but for the most part, we all do some of these pitfalls sometimes, but we also do the positive things. So we want to focus more on the positives, less on the negatives. Why do we care about this? I spent all last month focusing on the topics of communication and shared a lot of different communication areas in detail with respect to business as well as our personal lives. And this month, we're focusing on relationships. Well, guess what? Communications are a huge impactor of our relationships and how they go and how they make us feel. So we want to make sure that we're doing the best we can. 2 areas that I really emphasize before I get into the listing or the list of the positive and negatives are the impact that feedback and how we give feedback shows up and works in our business, as well as expectations and expectation sharing. I learned early in my corporate career and early in owning my businesses and operating them that you have got to clearly communicate your expectations. People are not mind readers. This happens in our personal relationships too, right? Have you ever expected your significant other to read your mind and just know what you're thinking and feeling about something? Doesn't work, does it? I tell my kids and my grandkids that often. Hey, you got to tell grandma what you want because I am not a mind reader. Never have been. Wish I could be sometimes, but then no, it'd be way too much. So the way we give feedback and the way we receive feedback, the way we share expectations and the way we receive expectations is incredibly important to the success of our business relationships, to the successes of our businesses at all. So those are 2 areas that I invite you to pay close attention to. And if you don't have a process and a system for doing those activities, I highly recommend that you create one for your business so that you can build into your culture a constant stream of feedback that is given in the way and presented to help the person that you're giving it to in a positive way, not to criticize. And that expectation sharing is just something that happens all the time in your business. I found that those have been very powerful practices in my businesses over the years. So what are these best practices in communication with respect to our relationships? Of course, number 1 is active listening. Are you actually present, paying attention, and listening to the thing that the person is telling you? I think we're all guilty of this, of not listening actively, not paying attention, multitasking, and thinking we can listen and participate in a conversation at the same time. And guess what? You're not fooling anybody. I know that when I'm working on posting my videos in the morning and my granddaughters are talking to me, I am not active listening. Not okay, right? So sometimes I'll pause what I'm doing, whether it's at work or at home, and I will just stop, take a deep breath, and it's only going to take, if I actively listen, the communication will go a lot faster than if I try to multitask or do something. Plus, the person knows I'm not listening, and that's not fair to them. Number 2, nonverbal awareness. Guess what? Like I said, people know if you're not listening. They know if you're multitasking. They know if you're not looking at them. They know if you're not engaged in the conversation or not. And they know that, through body language, eye contact, all the other things we do, that you are not present with them and they are just kind of wasting their breath. 3rd is empathy. Are you putting yourself and really trying to understand what the person is communicating to you and where they're coming from and their intent in communicating with you in the first place? What is it that they need or want? And how can you help them? What a powerful position to be in is to ask, how can I help? Number 4, clarity and honesty. Hey, I'm super busy right now. I'm maxed out. I cannot help you right now. Can you come back at 3:00 and we can talk about this? And I'd be glad to help then. Being clear. Clearly, I'm busy right now. I cannot give you the attention that you deserve and that this situation deserves unless it's an absolute emergency. Please let me know and we'll get, this is a time I can give you my full attention. And be clear, specific, and honest in your communication, all of your communication. Guess what? People know if you're not being honest. Timing. Timing is probably one of the biggest challenges for people when it comes, not maybe the biggest, maybe active listening is for me personally. Timing and being present sometimes, because there's so much going on in our lives all the time. The timing of, especially when we give feedback or share expectations, to me, because those are such important pieces of our business. The timing, when we choose to do that, is important. If somebody's already stressed out because they've got to meet a deadline, it's not the time to give them feedback, right? Unless you're going to help them do the thing that's stressing them out. It's not the time to say, well, if you would have started that a week ago, you wouldn't be all stressed out now. Because they probably started it a week ago, but other things got in the way and they didn't have it done yet. And now they're pressed to meet a deadline. I've worked in a lot of industries that were super time dependent. Probably the biggest one was the newspaper. We created a new product every single day that was then expired and obsolete the next day. And so everything was on time and on a specific time and had to happen by a certain time, or we would miss, deadlines. We'd miss printing, etc. I actually worked for a real live physical, super big newspaper, one of the big Knight Ridder properties, long time ago. So that's our 5 best practices: active listening, nonverbal communication, empathy, clarity and honesty, and timing. So check yourself today. Are you doing those things? And give yourself a score at A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D, F, if you want to go grade school, or on a scale of 1 to 10, most of your communication, or just pay attention to your communication today and check in and see, oh, wow, I wasn't active listening at all. I have no idea what that person just said to me. Now I have to embarrass myself by asking them to please repeat it because I wasn't paying attention. But guess what? It's not embarrassing because they already knew you weren't paying attention. All right, so what are the 5 pitfalls? And these I'll just list off because I think we all know what they are and we've all probably done some of them at some point in our life if we don't do them habitually. Interrupting. I'm trying to be a reformed interrupter. I don't think I've succeeded yet, but I'm working on it. And I will continue to work on it probably my entire life. I come from a true family of not true believers, but true interrupters. Stonewalling. Stonewalling is when you just withdraw from the conversation. You don't even participate. You choose not to participate, or you just leave the conversation altogether. This happens a lot in written communication. You'll be having a communication with somebody, say via text or email, and all of a sudden they ghost you and they just don't ever get back to you. Now, there's probably a reason, right? And we want to investigate and find that reason. But there are people that just stonewall other people because they think it makes them more powerful. I don't usually participate with them very much. Criticism. When criticism targets the person and the personality and who they are as a human being versus the behavior. If you are doing this, I invite you to stop immediately. I invite you to check yourself and remember that we shouldn't judge other people because it's not our job. It's not our job to criticize the human being. It's our job to give feedback on behaviors and actions. It is not our job to make assumptions and judgments about anybody else on the planet. That includes ourselves. We shouldn't be judging ourselves harshly. We should just be continually improving. 5th is defensiveness. Do you find yourself getting defensive? When I was younger and arrogant and egotistical, I found myself getting defensive a lot. And then I realized and got some humility that, guess what? If I'm being defensive, why am I being defensive? Is it because deep down, I know that I could have done better? Is it because deep down, I didn't do everything that I could possibly do to make the situation better? So ask yourself, why am I being defensive? Because we can just say, thank you. Thank you for the feedback. I will consider this. Can you give me some more specifics about that or ask questions versus being defensive? As soon as we're being defensive, that cuts off openness and people's willingness to even tell us anything, which is a super bad thing in our business, by the way, because people will tell us everything we need to know if we just actually listen to them. And finally, the 5th one is sarcasm and passive aggressiveness. And again, we've all been guilty of this sometimes. I'll make snide comments on social media sometimes, which I committed to in Be a Better You annual challenge to stop doing because it doesn't hurt anybody. It doesn't affect anybody but me, right? It really affects me more than anyone else. So why am I going to ever do that? It's silly and a waste of my time and energy, by the way. And I have a lot more productive, fun things that I want to do and accomplish in the world than being sarcastic or passive aggressive. I don't think I'm really passive aggressive, but maybe I'm being passive aggressive and not identifying with it as I make snide comments or sarcastic comments on social media, meaning I need to stop commenting duh on things. Sometimes I just say duh, D-U-H. All right, so those are our 10 things. 5 good, 5 not so good. And how are you going to focus on making sure that you create more of the good ones in your communications for your business today and less of the bad ones? Share in the comments below how it goes for you so we can learn from one another. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have a fantastic day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.